The human body is full of surprises, but sometimes they baffle even the most qualified medical experts. Why does this man have growths that look like tree bark? Why does this woman have 19 toes? And how did this woman suddenly wake up with a Welsh accent?
I've just got this accent and it won't go away.
Stick around as we look at some of the rarest medical conditions in the world and the incredible people who have them. This is Your Body On, the most unique people in the world. Number 5. Diwakar Bisoy, Bubble Skin Man. This is Diwakar Bisoy, a 65-year-old man from Odisha, India. He suffers from a rare condition called multiple neurofibromatosis. It's a genetic disorder that causes tumors to form on your nerve tissue. Diwakar's lumps started growing around 15 years ago, covering him from head to toe with tumors, even on his eyelids. They earned him the unfortunate nickname, Bubble Skin Man. The largest tumor on his leg makes getting around difficult. It's a whopping 25 kilograms. Thankfully, his growths aren't life-threatening, but they have affected his livelihood in a big way. Even though he's willing to work, Diwakar's farming days are sadly behind him. None of the villagers are willing to hire him. To stay afloat financially, Diwakar's wife and son care for him, working as laborers. His only treatment option is to remove his most problematic growths through surgery. But with so many tumors on his body, surgery like this would be expensive and would need to be done in several phases. Number 4. Nyak Kumari, the 19-toed woman. This is Nyak Kumari. Hailing from eastern India, this 63-year-old was born with 19 toes and 12 fingers. That's 31 digits in total. She has a condition known as polydactyly, a congenital disorder that affects 1 in 1,000 babies worldwide. People with polydactyly usually have 1 or 2 extra fingers or toes. Having more than that is exceptionally rare. So much so that Nyak is the current Guinness World Record holder for having the most digits. Growing up, people were cruel to Nyak. Nyak kept to herself and rarely left her home. With little to no money to fund treatment, it's not uncommon for people with polydactyly to have their extra digits surgically removed. But once Nyak's story got out to the local news, the government stepped in and found her a place at a long-term care home, giving her the care and support she needed. Number 3. Abul Bajandar, the Tree Man. Abul Bajandar is a 32-year-old Bangladeshi man who suffers from an extremely rare genetic disease known as Tree Man syndrome, a disease with just 12 known cases around the globe. It's an inherited condition that forms wart-like skin growths that look like tree bark. They can be painful and unsightly. This bark-like substance is made up of keratin, the same organic material that makes up fingernails, claws, horns, and hooves. Abul has been living with the disease for over 2 decades. He first noticed the strange growths when he was 10 years old. Between 2017 and 2018, he had a whopping 25 surgeries to remove over 5 kilograms of bark from his hands and feet. Before his surgeries, he struggled to eat, drink, and even shower. Thankfully, due to the rarity of his condition, the Dhaka Medical College Hospital graciously treated him for free. But in 2019, nearly a year after Abul's operations, the bark on his hands and feet started growing back. As a father, it's especially hard for Abul. As he told CNN, "I want to live like a normal person. I just want to be able to hold my daughter properly and hug her." Number 2. Sashala K, the woman with the melting face. This is Sashala K from Chennai, India. The 24-year-old suffers from plexiform neurofibromatosis, a condition that affects nerve tissue and inflammatory cells. At only 6 months old, her parents noticed that part of her face looked swollen. But they didn't consider it a big issue until Sashala turned 6 and her face started to swell at a significantly faster rate. Her tumors have made it hard for her to eat and brush her teeth, but despite her disfigurement, Sashala bravely walks in public without covering her face. Earning her degree in nursing, she's struggled to find a job in her field, but keeps busy working for an embroidery unit run by a trust. She's also an avid TikToker, working to inspire others like herself to be brave. Recently, she started a crowdfunding campaign to help her fund the surgery to shrink down the tumor, and it's looking optimistic.
எனக்கு லைஃப் பார்ட்னர் வேணாம். எனக்கு ஒரு நல்ல ஜாப், நிரந்தரமான ஒரு ஜாப் கிடைச்சா போதும். அதனால ஆபரேஷனுக்கு எனக்கு நீங்க ஹெல்ப் பண்ணீங்கன்னா என்னோட லைஃப் நல்லா இருக்கும். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஜாப்ல இருப்பேன்.
Number 1, Zoe K's foreign accent syndrome. Have you ever woken up sounding a little different than usual? And no, I don't mean from a hangover. Well, Zoe K's, a woman from Lincolnshire, England, miraculously woke up with a Welsh accent one day.
So I think I'm on about 4 weeks now, maybe 5. I've just got this accent and it won't go away. I think it's stuck. I hope that it would just be, a blip and that I would get over it, but it's been nearly 5 weeks.
She found her strange new accent so debilitating that she refused to go to work out of the fear of being ridiculed.
I'm still Welsh and I've had this accent now for 2 days. It's getting broader and stronger and I don't shut up. I don't know how to stop it. I just seem to want to talk all the time and it's doing my head in.
She was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, FND, a brain condition that interferes with how the brain processes communication.
If you think of the brain as a bit of a computer, there's no problem with the hardware itself, but the software, there's a problem somewhere in the software. So doing scans and things sometimes come back as completely normal.
But the accent is just one of several problems associated with FND. Zoe suffers from memory problems, tics, slurred speech, and chronic pain in her legs.
All day yesterday I was in bed, couldn't get out, was in a really bad way.
And her FND could be the culprit behind another rare condition known as foreign accent syndrome, FAS.
I mean, we've all forgotten what I usually sound like. I don't know what my old voice was like. I've just adapted, I've had to.
It's where people develop speech patterns that sound like foreign accents. It's usually a result of a stroke or a head injury.
So last night my speech came back. I didn't want to jump the gun too much, so I left it until this morning, and I'm talking fluently and it's like nothing ever happened.
Just over 100 people worldwide are believed to have had FAS since 1907. Zoe's looking for an expert to help her cope with her neurological symptoms.
Got speech problem again.
I've had to come home from work. My arm has locked. It is locked. I can't move it. I can move my hand, but not my arm. It releases and then it goes straight back. I've had to admit defeat today. I'm just so upset because it stopped me working. It stopped me going shopping. It stopped me doing anything. Quite frankly, I can't do anything.
Now, Zoe's not the only woman with unique setbacks. Have you ever met a skateboarder with no legs? Well, we'll check out Kanya Sesser's story and other unique women like herself on another episode of Your Body On.